I grew up at Northview Church. My family has attended since the beginning. The best memories that I have are at Northview. We grew up just living and breathing church because Dad was an elder. So all of the pastors, Dad just had at least some sort of a friendship with, and so their kids became our friends. One of the guys, Matt Blickendorf, became one of my best friends. It was Friday, August 16th, 2002. Matt and I hadn't seen each other for most of the summer. We were reconnecting that night and both getting into, it was my senior year, it was his junior year at Carmel. We got out of school early and we were gonna go mow lawns together, go to the Carmel football game, then wrap up the night by going to his parents' lake house. It's about 10:30, we've left the football game and we make the trek up to 236th Street, which is a dark country road.
I was leading Mike, and I was in my Toyota Supra that I love to drive really fast, but there were two separate police officers that had pulled people over. And so we were going the speed limit. We were going 55 all the way across. And a couple miles before the house, something caught my eye in the rearview mirror. I looked up, I saw Mike's headlights go to the right and kind of hit something and then violently swerve to the left and come to an abrupt stop up against the telephone pole. I remember screaming out. I get out of my car and run to his car, and I can already see that the fire has spread so much that like his face is aglow. The road was littered with the lawnmowers and the gas cans and everything that was in the back of Mike's truck. I got him up underneath his armpits and gave him a tug, and nothing happened. He was pinned. And it was in that moment where the fire was spreading so much and it was like this oil, really thick black smoke that you couldn't breathe, that I remember to this day thinking like, I don't think he's coming out. And he was making this like gargling sound, and you knew that he was still trying to breathe and that he was alive. And so it was like, either like, you leave him or we're both going. And I'll never forget thinking like, well, we're both gonna die in this fire then, because I know you're alive and I can't leave him. And I'm like, Jesus, you have to help us. Lord, please help us. It wasn't just like, if there's a God, please help, or whoever you are, please help. It was, Jesus, you have to do this. And it's just you, and it's me, and it's Mike. There was this little grove of trees, and around the trees comes this guy running. We did a 1, 2, 3, and Mike's legs came free. Fire department comes, and the sheriff comes. He immediately sees the condition that Mike's in and calls for a helicopter. I'm in the sheriff's car, and we're driving to Mike's parents. We go up to the door, and I'm like, we got him out. God was there, and he's gonna be okay. Mike was in the hospital. He was in a medically induced coma for weeks.
My first memory was waking up in a cold hospital elevator, going from the ICU floor to the pediatric rehab floor. I burned 26% of my body, had a severe head injury. I shattered my left heel and I shattered the left eye socket. Through the accident and falling asleep at the wheel, we found out later that I have narcolepsy. I wrestled with what my future could look like because of the burns and the scarring and how was that all gonna work out. But I was supported by an incredible community, and most of which was through Northview Church.
That night, I called on Jesus' name, and he showed up. And so for me, that cemented my faith in a way that you can't explain to people.
This is something that bonded Matt and I together for life. If it weren't for Matt and God's divine intervention, I'm certain that I wouldn't be here today. It was certainly a miracle.